In an SUV crazy world, it's always really nice to see a brand new premium electric sedan. And today I'm actually out here in New York City where Volkswagen has finally taken the wraps off of the third model in the ID family. This right here is the 2025 ID.7. It's a new electric sedan that offers up to 300 miles of range, standard rear-wheel drive, nearly 300 horsepower, and an all-new infotainment system that measures 15 inches in diameter. So you guys have been looking for a premium electric sedan. Let's go ahead and finally take a first look.
Which has the light strip that goes all the way through. You have this retro VW logo right here. And of course also the main headlamp unit with matrix LED available. This color here is aquamarine blue. Very nice, subtle blue color, but also a little bit brighter when the light shines on it. But we also have a white car for you here available on location, just that you can see the difference.
This is really what Volkswagen is calling their flagship electric vehicle. They tell me it's about the same size as an Arteon, which some of you may know what that car is. It's a really cool car, actually. We have some reviews. We have a Nürburgring track review of an Arteon plug-in hybrid wagon, which was just awesome, the shooting brake version. But ultimately, this is about the size of a Passat. Kind of looks slightly larger to me, but this is a big, upper mid-class electric sedan. So the sizing is pretty cool.
Architecture. It does not have a frunk, but since we're underneath here, let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain specs. Now in Europe, VW will offer this in two different battery sizes, either a 77 kilowatt or a larger 86 kilowatt hour. Here in America, however, they're only planning to offer the 77 kilowatts, so it's the smaller battery pack, and we're also only going to have one single electric motor driving the rear wheel. So that's right, when this vehicle comes to market in early 2024, it'll actually be a rear drive vehicle. VW says all-wheel drive will be coming in the near future, and it also has their new electric drive motor at the back axle. So now we have up to 282 horsepower and 402 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you're keeping score, that is a healthy about 81 horsepower increase versus the rear drive motor that we find in the ID.4, and compared to its direct rival, the Hyundai Ioniq 6, this has roughly 50 more horsepower versus...
Indicators, really impressive because they are very wide and indeed visible. I like it when the turning indicators are visible. That's just also a helpful safety feature when being on the road. What do you think about this? Tell me in the comments. And look at that, the rear turning indicator. Come around here, then you can see this 3-layer shape. That's a very interesting idea. And it also features a welcoming or goodbye signature. Here when I open the vehicle, look at that. Ooh, that looks fancy. And you can actually pick 3 different stylings. This is number 3 now, the most extensive one, so to speak. When I close the vehicle, you can also change the waiting time for this when it dissolves. And when it dissolves, then once again, as a goodbye signature. There we go.
Dude, this thing is cool. Alyssa, what do you think about the size of the trunk?
It is massive.
Yeah.
Honestly, that could fit the dogs just perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Totally agree. Like this, as a dog hauler, I'm so happy they went with a liftback rather than a sedan hatch. This, to me, almost makes the whole car so much more usable and practical. If you were thinking about going for, maybe this size of vehicle and going a little bit more upmarket to Mercedes EQE, that has a traditional trunk hatch. And so does the Ioniq 6, and so does the Model 3. So here you are with a sedan with a liftback. Love to see that, power operated, of course. Now, my understanding is the base spec in the US is going to come like almost fully loaded. It'll have an electrochromatic glass roof, which we need to take a look at. It's going to have some really cool stuff. Really, the only upgrades you can go for are the big Harman Kardon sound system, which is much needed in the ID cars to have a better sound system, because that's one of our biggest complaints and our friends who own them, their biggest complaints, so that'll be fixed. Massaging seats, and we're not talking just like the ID.4 air bladder massage. This has butt and back massagers. We're going to have to play around with those. And ultimately, this is what Volkswagen is positioning as their long-distance cruiser, the highway mile muncher.
As for practicality, there's tons of room in the rear seats and in the boot, much more than in the BMW i4, for instance. This is a car that's very much focused on comfort, on long-distance touring, and I think the interior really shows that. Driving position's really good, plenty of support to the seats, plus if you add the optional sort of upgraded seats, you get heated and cooled seats, and they'll even sort of sense whether you need the seats cooled automatically. Head-up display with augmented nav on it. You also get a tiny little display in here with all the kind of essential information you need, which I really like. It's very simple, it's not cluttered, It just gives you your speed, sort of essential safety stuff. That's really good. You've still got touch-sensitive temperature and volume controls, unfortunately. They are now backlit at night, and that is very good news. Plus, the voice assistant has been upgraded. I have to say, I've been using it, and it's really good. And you can use the voice assistant to mute the navigation.
You can see the door handles are pretty much the same that you'll find on the ID.4, and you can see with this particular one here, it's got the moonstone gray exterior with this kind of black interior with an all-new seat design that kind of has like a mixture of a leatherette material with an Alcantara and this kind of blue accented stitching. Volkswagen says they also will offer a lighter white color two-tone interior for those of you who don't prefer a black interior, but you can see here the rest of the door panel and such. It has this really interesting design. You have this really cool feature with the ambient lighting. There's 30 different colors that you can choose from. You also have the play and pause button for the accelerator and brake pedal. And then the seats, you can see these are a 12-way power front seat, which also includes a massage function. Now, VW says the massage function has been upgraded, so it also does the bottom cushion in addition to the lumbar massage.
Of course, really cozy. The seats are great. I feel among best in segment and probably among the best in the EVs overall. So great comfort, still a lot of headroom here with the panoramic roof. I'll soon also show you how there's the headroom without the panoramic roof. This panoramic roof here is also special because it has the electrochromic function. And it means we have a slider here. I don't like sliders, but you can see it here. This is really cool. We know it from other vehicles, not completely new, but new for Volkswagen. Porsche used it before, for example, and then you can have view through or protection against the sun. Pretty cool indeed.
I mean, this thing's so quiet. It is whisper quiet. I mean, there is no motor whine in this at all. And actually the ride, even on adaptive dampers, there's a bit of thump over that sort of sharp edge kind of expansion joints and that kind of thing. But it feels really composed. You've got this exceptionally raked A-pillar on the car, and that's one of the things you do notice when you get in. You feel quite kind of, you do feel like it's actually quite a sort of sporty feeling car in that respect, I suppose, in terms of the driving position. But the way it drives is full on posh luxury executive. Doesn't feel like a sporty car, it just feels like it wants to cosset you in every possible way.
And then you have the touch-sensitive controls for the steering wheel. The instrument panel here, you can see there's a small little display that shows you some driving information. Volkswagen actually didn't even say how big this screen is, but it's definitely different versus what you find in the ID.4. You have soft touch materials here. And then coming to this infotainment system, that's always been a sore spot with Volkswagens in the past. However, as you can see, this system here has been completely upgraded. So it looks basically the same as what you find in a lot of Tesla vehicles. The climate functions down here, you can see Volkswagen says they're always in place, so you don't have to look for them. And then you can see the slider controls are finally illuminated. So that's something that they left out in the current setup.
Parents, here in the front door, this is the child lock for the rear door. Because when young children are playing in the rear and they do like this, the door is opened. So definitely use the child lock when you have young, unexperienced children in the rear. Other than that, here Harman Kardon sound system, 14 speakers when you have gone for this option. And also the rear door, soft touch at the top part with the structure and great build quality at the inside of the doors here with the bright microfiber, which would again be dark than in the other choice. Here with the blue accentuation once again, so that looks indeed pretty cool. And also because this is a dedicated EV platform, of course, there is no middle tunnel at all. The battery is underneath that, but you have a lot of space here in the rear, easily for 5 tall adults. And just look at that, how much legroom I still have. Even if I am driving in the front, this is enormous. And from a seating comfort, indeed, this is also great in the rear. Headroom, of course, this here being the fastback model, still some headroom left with 189 or 6'2". When you will have the estate model, it will be even a little bit better here for the legroom.
Volkswagen says that you should expect this vehicle to go on sale in the US in early 2024. They will announce the pricing as we get closer to that on sale date. I'm also not entirely sure if this or the ID Buzz will come out first. They tell us that it should be coming out right around the same time. And if I had to guess in terms of pricing, I'd look at the Arteon. The Arteon starts at around $43,000. This is obviously going to be more expensive. If you look at some rivals like the Ioniq 6, that starts at around 45 grand. So don't don't be surprised to see a well-equipped model of this version, which most of them are going to be well-equipped, to be around the $50,000 range. Unfortunately, this vehicle is built in Germany, so it does not qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. But with all of the tech on the inside, the style on the outside, the upgraded powertrains, and the range figure, which is going to be over 300 miles, it should be a nice addition to the ID family when it goes on sale in early 2024.